Senator Fisher.
Thank you, Senator Bozeman, and congratulations on your gavel. Look forward to working with you and with the ranking member. Thank you. Ms. Rollins, so good to see you. I really, really appreciated you coming to the office last month and the great discussion that we had. As you know, the agricultural industry is the economic engine of Nebraska. We grow a lot of corn and beans and wheat and sugar beets and livestock. So we understand the necessity of having that strong economy for our state, that food security, how important it is for our country, and I look forward to working with you in the future on that.
Thank you.
You noted in your testimony that we must demand strong and steady markets for our agricultural bounty, and this is a statement that I hear consistently from our producers as well. One of those really important markets for Nebraska's agriculture is biofuels. In his day one actions, President Trump emphasized the need for our country to be energy dominant. The president has long recognized that ag producers have a role to play in producing abundant homegrown energy, and he took steps in his executive order declaring a national energy emergency so that we can continue to allow for the sale of E15 year-round. And I've long led an effort to make this policy permanent. And I look forward to working with my colleagues to deliver on that part of the president's agenda. We know that there's going to be a number of other biofuel decisions that will be made in the coming months that will have significant impacts on the biofuel market. I know you've heard from a number of my colleagues on this committee about the importance of that. Can you just speak briefly about how you view the importance of biofuel markets for our farmers?
I will. And Senator, thank you. Love being in your office and meeting Fred Fisher, and really look forward to hopefully having more conversations in your office and in your home state of Nebraska, which is one of the shining stars of our country. In the last few months, since the announcement was made that I was going to be, hopefully if confirmed, joining this administration and the cabinet as the head of USDA, I have had multiples of conversations with many of you on the committee and outside the committee. Your governor flew to Texas to give me a couple of hours of his time to make sure I understood specifically within your state, but frankly, how this affects so much of the Midwest and in our corn states. My commitment is to defend and protect and fight for all of American agriculture. Clearly, in the last administration, this issue was under the National Economic Council, Larry Kudlow, so I didn't manage it under the Domestic Policy Council, but I was certainly in a lot of the meetings, which there were a lot of meetings, President Trump would tell you, in the Oval Office about this. His executive order in the last few days mentioning biofuels as part of his all of the above strategy to reclaim energy dominance across the world,
right.
is important.
President Trump was very generous with his time and his previous time in the Oval Office, and he's correct. We had a lot of meetings in the Oval Office. So
I think
know
he said 27.
Truly, and he would like to get this issue settled as well. I thought maybe we would last in the CR, but we'll continue to push for that. What we've seen over the last 4 years, and what I've heard, has been a lot of disappointment from Nebraskans about the lack of any kind of trade agenda from the Biden administration. In fact, for the first time in decades, we've had an agricultural trade deficit. And as you said earlier, it's projected to hit a record-breaking $45 billion. I understand there can be a variety of factors that impact a trade deficit, but I am concerned that part of this stems from there being really any kind of clear agricultural trade agenda from the last administration. We cannot see that happen again. Can you talk about how you would both hold our current trading partners accountable and the role that you will or that you would want to see USDA play in developing these new export markets?
Yes, Senator, and that $45 billion, what's remarkable about that is 42% of that is just in the last year.
Yes.
So the wheels are falling off, and it is very, very important that the wheels get put back on as soon as possible. I think for those that know me for a long time, but even Senator, you and I have just gotten to know each other in the recent months, know that I am a relentless cheerleader for whatever it is that I have been called to do, and for this moment in my life, and to meet this moment, as Scripture says, I am called to take agriculture to preserve our rural communities and take our products to the world and work around the clock to ensure that that sort of trade deficit begins to peel back, and hopefully by the end of our time here in the next 4 years is completely gone. And in fact, we are back in the positive. And I believe we can do that. I mentioned earlier, I think President Trump is the consummate deal maker. His heart for rural America and for our farmers and ranchers, I think, will hopefully lead the way. I certainly will be right next to him, whispering in his ear as we move forward on this. And I think and hope and pray that we can begin to solve for this immediately.
Great. Another area that I focused on is how precision ag technology can help our farmers and ranchers to achieve better yields and reduce environmental impact, improve economic returns. I've had a number of bills on that I'm going to be reintroducing and including hopefully in the farm bill that we work on. Additionally, myself and really the entire Nebraska delegation, along with the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, have been working in a very close partnership with the Ag Research Service on the National Center for Resilience and Regenerative Precision Ag at the University Innovation Campus. And last May, we broke ground on that facility, and I hope that I can continue to work with you to make sure that we get that facility completed. Can I get your commitment to continue working with me on this facility? Can I get your commitment to come to Nebraska? We had Sonny Perdue out at the ranch and had a great barbecue with neighbors. We can do that. And then another trip, we can get you to Lincoln and see the ARS facility, what we're doing there.
That would be my great honor.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.